Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning, and for the first time in years, you don't feel that familiar weight on your chest. No racing thoughts about what could go wrong. No mental rehearsal of failure before your day even begins. Instead, you feel powerful, calm, ready. Sound impossible? Here's what nobody tells you about positive thinking. It's not about forcing fake smiles or pretending everything's perfect. That's exactly why it fails. That's exactly why every motivational quote you've ever read left you feeling more frustrated than inspired. The ancient Stoics discovered something revolutionary 2,000 years ago, something that modern psychology is only now catching up to. Marcus Aurelius, while running the Roman Empire, wrote these words: "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But here's the twist. He wasn't talking about wishful thinking or toxic positivity. He was talking about mental warfare, the kind of inner strength that transforms not just how you feel, but how you show up in the world. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to weaponize your mind, how to turn your thoughts from your greatest enemy into your most powerful ally. And once you understand this, really understand it, you'll never be the same person again. The architecture of reality. Your thoughts aren't innocent whispers floating through your consciousness. They're architects, building the reality you experience moment by moment, brick by mental brick. Most people live their entire lives without realizing. They're the contractor of their own prison. Marcus Aurelius understood this with crystal clarity. Every morning he would remind himself that his day's success depended not on external circumstances, but on the quality of his internal dialogue. Think about that for a moment. The most powerful man on earth believed his happiness came from his thoughts, not his empire. Imagine waking up tomorrow absolutely certain that your day is doomed. You've mentally rehearsed failure before breakfast. You've visualized everything going wrong before you've even left your house. What happens? You're living out a story written by your fears, not your capabilities. You've become a prisoner of your own mental creation. The problem isn't that life is hard. The problem is that most of us never question the stories we tell ourselves about that hardness. We assume our perceptions are objective reality, never realizing they're heavily filtered through our mindset. Carl Jung put it perfectly: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. How many times have you blamed circumstances for something your own mind quietly engineered? The Stoic reframe. But here's where it gets exciting. If your thoughts hold such enormous power over your reality, doesn't that mean you have the power to completely rewrite your experience of life? Seneca, another master Stoic, observed something profound. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about your worst fears, your biggest anxieties. How many of them exist only in your mind? How many are shadows you've painted on your own walls? This isn't about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. This is about recognizing that between every stimulus and your response, there's a space. And in that space lies your power. The power to choose how you interpret what happens to you. Modern psychology calls this cognitive reframing. But the Stoics were doing it centuries before we had a name for it. They saw obstacles not as barriers, but as training equipment. Every setback was a chance to practice resilience. Every difficulty was a teacher in disguise. Epictetus, who went from slave to philosopher, said it best: people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take. Them. Life isn't happening to you. You're actively interpreting life, and you can choose interpretations that strengthen you rather than paralyze you. The mindset revolution. The difference between people who thrive and people who merely survive isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's how they've trained their minds to respond to challenges. Picture this. Tomorrow morning, instead of waking up groggy and dreading your to-do list, you wake up with genuine confidence. You look in the mirror and say, "Today I've got this. I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving." Sure, it might feel awkward at first, maybe even forced. But here's something powerful. Every great achievement in history started as a thought in someone's mind. They visualized success, believed it was possible, and then aligned their actions to make it reality. Henry Ford captured this perfectly. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your beliefs about what's possible literally shape what becomes possible. This doesn't mean deluding yourself into thinking life will always be smooth. The Stoics embraced difficulties as essential teachers, not obstacles to avoid. As Epictetus said, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." Think about everyone you admire, the people who seem to conquer their dreams with ease. They've all faced setbacks, disappointments, failures, often repeatedly. Their secret wasn't avoiding these hardships. It was deciding never to stay down. They learned, adapted, and came back stronger each time. The choice point: every morning you're standing at a crossroads. It might not feel obvious, but it's there. That split-second decision between leaning into fear or stepping boldly toward confidence. Our fears often exist solely in our minds, vivid yet imaginary barriers keeping us from what we're capable of achieving. It's easy to feed these fears, giving them strength, allowing them to take root. But imagine what your life would look like if you starved those doubts and instead nurtured your courage. Life isn't going to magically become easy. Negativity will always find its way to your doorstep, knocking persistently, hoping you'll answer. It whispers familiar refrains. "You're not ready. This is too hard. Who are you kidding?" But here's your power. You don't have to listen. You can interrupt that voice mid-sentence and challenge it right there. Instead of, "I can't handle this," flip it. "I've faced worse and came through stronger. I can handle this too." It's simple, but don't underestimate the power of reframing. Your mind listens closely to what you tell it repeatedly. Jung highlighted this. "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Building mental muscle. Think of your confidence as a muscle. Every positive, empowering thought strengthens. Every time you consciously replace fear with belief, doubt with determination, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural pathways that lead toward resilience rather than defeat. Over time, these pathways become your default response. Suddenly, what once felt intimidating becomes manageable, even exciting. Marcus Aurelius understood this. Need for daily practice. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Each day offers countless opportunities to reaffirm your confidence. It starts small, speaking up in a meeting, taking on a project you've been avoiding, having that difficult conversation you've postponed. Each tiny victory stacks up, building your internal reservoir of courage, reinforcing your belief that you're stronger than any obstacle you face. The mental diet. Here's something most people never consider. They spend hours every week working on their bodies, lifting weights, running, miles, counting calories. But when was the last time you trained your mind with the same discipline? Strange how we value physical fitness more than mental clarity, resilience, or peace. Yet your mind is the one muscle that controls everything else. If it's weak, the strongest, body won't matter. Marcus Aurelius, in the middle of running an empire, still wrote to himself, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. What you're thinking consistently is literally shaping who you become." Here's something practical. Before diving into the chaos of each day, pause for just 1 minute. Look at yourself in the mirror and say something empowering. I am enough. I've got what it takes. I don't have to prove anything to anyone today. Sounds awkward? Maybe. Especially if you're not used to speaking to yourself with kindness. But the awkwardness is temporary. The strength you build from it, permanent. Jung said it perfectly. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. If you want confidence, don't just wish for it. Build it through repetition. The action imperative. Here's where most people get stuck. They dream big, journal intentions, even talk passionately about their goals. But they don't take that uncomfortable first step. And that step is where real transformation begins. Marcus Aurelius was direct. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop talking. Start doing. Action kills fear every time. When you do the thing you were afraid of, even just a little bit, that fear loses its grip. It's not magic, it's exposure. The Stoics taught this through voluntary discomfort. Practice facing discomfort so when it really shows up, you're already familiar with it. Epictetus laid it out simply. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You don't need a perfect plan to get started. You need a decision and one small action that aligns with your values. That's how momentum builds. One push, one call, one email, one attempt. Suddenly you're not standing still anymore. Belief isn't just in your head, it's in your hands. The failure fallacy. There's something strange about how we treat failure. Like it's contagious, like touching it will infect everything with shame. But failure isn't a monster lurking in the shadows. It's a mirror, and if you have the courage to look into it, it'll show you exactly where you need to grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Most people don't fear failure. They fear what they think it means about them. Remember learning to ride a bike? You fell, scraped your knees, maybe even cried, but you got back on. Why? Because failure wasn't final. It was expected. You didn't take it personally. Somewhere along the way, that mindset vanished. Now we see failure as evidence that we're broken, incapable, unworthy. But it's none of those things. It's feedback. It's life's way of saying, try a different approach. Jung understood this. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the friction, in the fall, in the bounce back. The Stoics didn't just accept failure, they welcomed it. Seneca believed adversity was fuel for the soul. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. The discipline. Most people don't fail because they're unlucky. They fail because they keep waiting for luck to show up. Real success isn't flashy or viral. It's built in silence, in repetition, in showing up when there's no applause. Marcus Aurelius said it simply, just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. That's discipline, doing the right thing again and again, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one's watching. We live in a culture obsessed with quick wins, but real progress doesn't care about speed. It cares about consistency. Small actions repeated over time compound. The 10-minute workout, that chapter you read each night, that moment you choose discipline over distraction, those choices add up. Eventually they become identity. Jung captured this. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Your powerful actions, not your intentions, build your future. It's not about grinding every second of every day. It's about honoring quiet commitments, waking up early when you'd rather sleep in, finishing what you started when motivation is gone, choosing growth over comfort. Seneca put it perfectly. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You don't need to wait for your shot. You need to be ready when it shows up. And that readiness is built in daily routines, in habits that seem small but carry enormous weight. The commitment line. You ever notice how easy it is to kind of want something? To dip one foot in while keeping the other on shore, just in case? It feels safe, sensible even. But that's not how transformation happens. That's how people stay stuck. Jung observed, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." Half commitment is exactly that, avoiding the deeper, scarier truth of what it really takes to change. Most people don't fail because they weren't capable. They fail because they never actually decided. They flirted with change, entertained success, like a guest but never married the process, never locked in, never burned the boats. Epictetus had no patience for hesitation. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? That question should hit hard, because if you're not all in, you're already halfway out. Real commitment isn't glamorous. It's not Instagrammable. It doesn't come with dopamine rushes. It's early mornings when no one's watching. It's staying in the game when motivation is gone. It's telling yourself, "I'm doing this no matter what shows up to stop me." Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." That's the inner dialogue that keeps you moving when quitting starts to sound comfortable. Life will test you. It'll hand you every excuse to back out: fatigue, failure, doubt, fear. But every time you push through, you harden your resolve. You prove to yourself that this isn't a phase. This is who you are now. And here, we are at the moment where everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now. Because here's what Marcus Aurelius knew that most people never figure out. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. That kind of urgency cuts through every excuse, every hesitation, every what if. The truth is, you don't need more time. You need more truth. And the truth is this: you're ready. You've always been ready. For too long, you've been waiting for motivation to show up at your door like some invited guest. But motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. The confidence you're seeking isn't hiding somewhere out there. It's built through the choices you make when no one's watching, when it's hard, when it doesn't feel good. Carl Jung said it perfectly. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. That means today isn't just another square on your calendar. It's a vote. A vote for who you're becoming. Every action you take is a brick in the foundation of your new identity. So what's it going to be? What are you choosing to finally commit? Don't just think it. Say it out loud, write it down, make it real. This is no longer a casual wish floating in your head. This is a promise to yourself, a line in the sand, a declaration of war against the version of you that settles for less. The ancient Stoics knew something that modern life has forgotten. Your thoughts create your reality, but only when they're backed by relentless action. Only when you stop negotiating with fear and start moving despite it. Only when you realize that waiting for perfect conditions is just another form of giving up on yourself. Seneca warned us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." How much of your life have you already wasted waiting for permission? Waiting for confidence? Waiting for the right time? The right time is now. The permission you've been seeking comes from you. The confidence you want is built through doing the thing you're afraid to do, then doing it again, then making it who you are. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are not condemned to repeat the patterns that have held you back. You are the author of your story. the architect of your thoughts, the master of your response to whatever life throws at you. Every morning when your feet hit the floor, you have a choice. You can sleepwalk through another day, letting fear write your script, letting comfort keep you small. Or you can stand up straight, look yourself in the mirror and say, "Today I choose courage over comfort, growth over safety, action over analysis. I am not the same person I was yesterday, and I won't be the same person tomorrow." This isn't about becoming perfect. The Stoics never aimed for perfection. They aimed for progress. They aimed for wisdom, earned through action, strength built through struggle, peace created through practice. Your transformation doesn't require a dramatic moment or a life-changing event. It requires a decision, a quiet internal shift from "I can't" to "I will," from "someday" to "today," from "I hope" to "I am." The person you're meant to become is not hiding somewhere in your future, waiting for the right circumstances to appear. That person is available right now in this moment, through the choice you make next. So choose. Choose to stop waiting. Choose to start building. Choose to believe that your thoughts, when aligned with action, have the power to reshape everything. Choose to honor the ancient wisdom that your happiness depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and then think thoughts worthy of the life you want to live. The Stoics faced plagues, wars, exile, and death. They didn't have perfect lives, but they had powerful minds. They didn't control what happened to them, but they mastered how they responded. They turned obstacles into stepping stones and setbacks into comebacks. You have that same power. You've always had it. The only question now is, what are you going to do with it? The moment you stop seeking permission and start taking action, everything changes. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you stop being at war with difficulty. You embrace it, you use it, you let it forge you into someone stronger than you ever imagined possible. This is your moment. This is your choice. This is your chance to prove to yourself that you're not just a dreamer. You're a doer, not just a thinker. You're a builder, not just someone who talks about change. You're someone who becomes it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop looking for more motivation. Stop searching for the right strategy. You have everything you need right now to take the next step. And that step, that single, imperfect, courageous step, is how legends are born. Your story doesn't end with "I wish I had." It begins with "I decided to." The Stoics are waiting to welcome you into their ranks, not as someone who merely thinks about strength, but as someone who lives it. The question isn't whether you can do this. The question is, will you? Your answer starts now.